so happy you're here. We're gonna do a 12-hour readathon today. I've never done one. I've always done 24-hour readathons, so I'm very excited. I'm also gonna do one with one of my best friends for the first time. I've always done them by myself, so that's also very fun. She lives on the other side of the country, so we're just gonna FaceTime and talk on Discord, but I think it will still be really fun to not suffer through this alone. It is Monday, I'm off work today, so this was the perfect time to do it. It's almost 8 a.m. It is 7:57. I would like to start this at 8, but I think I'm gonna start by listening to an audiobook because I have to clean up my apartment, blow dry my hair, make some coffee and breakfast, and then I will sit down and read a physical book. I have no idea how much I can realistically read today, but I have 2 books that I would like to read. Those are definitely my priority. I'm gonna start by listening to the audiobook of one of them. The first book I'm gonna read is The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. I've heard so much about this, so I'm very excited to go into this. This is supposed to be a mix of the Selection series and the Cruel Prince series, and I love both of those. I don't know a lot about this book, so I'm going to talk more about it later once I have started it. But we're going to start our timer now, put on my headphones, and start reading and cleaning. The first 5 chapters of The Rose Bargain. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm now in my reading corner. I'm gonna start reading it physically. I think I'm gonna read it on my Kindle just because I can read a little faster on there and it's just more comfortable. And I got it on Libby. But I now have a better understanding of what this book is about. This is set in Victorian London. People have also been saying that it gives off Bridgerton vibes. I have read the first book in the series. I didn't enjoy it. I also tried to start watching the show, but I'm not really the biggest TV person. I don't know why. I just can't get into shows. So I've never watched it. So I can't really say if it really gets off Bridgerton. But yeah, the land is ruled by a immortal fae queen called Moore, and every citizen in this world is allowed one bargain with the queen. Especially younger girls often wish for changes on their body or new talents and stuff like that to make them more appealing to suitors. And we follow our main character, Ivy, whose family is kind of disgraced after her sister Lydia disappeared. So she's entering this debutante season to try to restore her family's reputation. And when they get there, the queen announces a competition for her son's hand in marriage. So that's where the Selection series comes into play, why a lot of people compare those two, because 24 girls now have to compete to marry the prince. Only one girl can win, obviously, and all of the other girls are never allowed to get married if they lose. And in that time and world, that is like the worst thing that can happen to a young woman. So yeah, I just read the part where the queen announced that, so I'm excited to see the competition now. I'm gonna sit down and try to read as much as I can. I am halfway through The Rose Bargain and I'm having a good time. It's definitely a pretty simple book, I would say. There's not a new concept. I feel like the author took different concepts from other books and put it into this one, which isn't a bad thing. I also love that we get chapters from the other girls that are competing because it's really interesting to get to know their thoughts and everything. So that's something I really like, and probably also the most unique part of the story. So far, we only got one challenge that was part of this competition. It really reminded me of the Powerless series, but I hope we'll get some more insights into that because so far it's really, I wouldn't say boring. It's very entertaining and I'm flying through it, but there's not a lot happening and the fantasy aspects aren't, this definitely is a fantasy, but the world building is also very simple. I feel like that's also not the main focus. At least we don't learn a lot about the fantasy elements in this world. So all in all, I think it's a fun read, but nothing really mind-blowing. But I'm gonna continue reading now. We are exactly 4 hours into the readathon and I just finished my first book. I finished reading The Rose Bargain. I'm gonna rate it 4 stars. I didn't think I would rate it more than 3 stars after reading the first half of it because, like I said, it wasn't really anything special and there wasn't a lot happening. But I do have to say I really liked the ending. All of a sudden so much was happening. I also grew pretty attached to the characters, especially all of the girls. I think having a chapter from each of them really had a big impact on that because you got to know them a little better compared to just reading about them from Ivy's perspective. So that was really cool. And I also love the friendship the 6 of them formed throughout the story and how much they supported each other even though they were competing against each other. And like I said, the ending was really unexpected for me. I thought that this book would be really predictable. I don't want to go too much into detail about it because I don't want to spoil anything, but I feel like the love interest was pretty clear from the beginning. So that didn't really surprise me. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a plot twist, but what happened at the end definitely was a plot twist. I didn't expect that at all, and I'm definitely gonna pick up the second book. I think it's not gonna come out until April or something like that, but I'm definitely gonna pre-order that because I have to find out what's gonna happen. So we're off to restart. I'm gonna start my next book now. I'm gonna start Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the first book in the, is this the Addicted series? Is that what it's called? Yeah, it is. This is a very popular series and I've yet to start it. So I'm excited to do that now. This follows Lily and Lo, who have been best friends for years, I think, but they both struggle with addictions. Lily is addicted to sex and Lo is an alcoholic, and in order to hide their addictions from their families, they pretend to be in a relationship, but I'm assuming that this is going to be a friends to lovers trope. I don't know why, but this gives off toxic vibes. Just from what I know about it, it kind of gives off the same toxic vibes as Magnolia Parks. So I'm curious to see how this is gonna be. I'm gonna be totally honest, I'm not sure if I'm gonna enjoy this, but I'm gonna go into it without any expectations. I'm also gonna read this one on my Kindle since it's on Kindle Unlimited, and I'm really excited. So far, this reading challenge is going great and I'm having a lot of fun. So orange in this light. I have to change it. That's better. I'm on page 216, so I'm a little over halfway through the book. I'm not that invested. My assumption that this was going to be a very toxic relationship, kind of like Magnolia Parks, was definitely right. And I'm not sure if that is something I enjoy. Watching those characters hurt each other again and again on purpose. It makes me so angry, and I just don't get it. Why you would do that to a person you love. I also feel like the transition from just being friends to being in a real relationship was kind of sudden. I'm not sure if that would have been a little better if we would get both point of views, because we only get Lily's point of view and not Lo's. So maybe if we would have gotten both, that transition would have been a little more understandable. And what I also don't get is that they don't work on their addictions. They both just accept them. And I mean, I am aware that you cannot stop an addiction immediately. Like, obviously that's a lot of work, but they don't even try to do anything to get better. So I don't really get it. Like, that also makes the relationship even more toxic, because if I see somebody that I love struggling with something like an addiction, I would try to help them, obviously. I mean, they do kind of support each other by making sure that the other's addiction is staying safe. Like, Lily makes sure that Lo doesn't die, I guess, after drinking too much. And Lo makes sure that Lily gets tested to make sure that she doesn't have any STDs or anything like that. And that the guys she's hooking up with are safe. But neither one of them tries to fight against the addiction or help the other one fight against their addiction. So that's what I don't really get about this book. Like, I mean, I luckily don't have any experiences with addiction, so maybe I just don't get it. Maybe they're so far into their addictions that they don't even see that they have to fight against them, or they don't have any hope that it's gonna get better. But it's kind of frustrating reading about that, to be honest. I've just said negative things about this book. I'm still enjoying it. It's a very quick read, but it's just really frustrating. And I think that books about toxic relationships are just not my favorite. I do get why people enjoy them, because there's a lot more at stake than like those light and fluffy romances. But I think I prefer to be in this happy bubble of fluffy romances. But I'm pretty sure that I'm still gonna continue the series. Maybe it's still gonna get better. Like, that sounds like it's a bad book. It's not. It's just not for me, but I'm gonna continue reading. I still have exactly 5 minutes left on my timer. 5 minutes? 5 hours left on my timer. So we're definitely gonna be able to finish this. I actually am waiting on a package to arrive. I ordered the next part in the Shadow Me series. The next book I'm gonna read is a novella called Shadow Me, and it's supposed to get here today. I'm hoping that it will be here when I finish this book so I can go straight into this one, because I finished Restore Me, which is the 4th part of the Shadow Me series, a couple of days ago, and there was just so much going on in that book, so I need to know what's gonna happen after. So I'm hoping to also read the novella in the Shadow Me series today. I have to charge my Kindle, so I have to continue reading this physically for now, which is fine because this is a very floppy book, so it's not too bad to read it physically. Like, that's exactly what I mean. I don't get it. They were at this Halloween party and Lo drank some alcohol that was locked away, and this guy says to Lily, "You knew he was drinking the expensive booze the whole time, didn't you? You didn't stop him." And then Lily thinks, "A surge of guilt assaults me and I hate it. I hate him for making me feel this. I've done everything I can to protect Lo from himself. I tried. I warned Lo not to, but I couldn't force him to stop." Yeah, girl, you didn't try anything. Like, you didn't try to stop him. Ever. Like, is she gaslighting herself? Because she didn't try to stop him. Not really. And then she tries to excuse him by saying it's his 21st birthday. Why do you make up excuses for him when you know he's an alcoholic? Why doesn't she just try to help him? Because the people she's with right now are obviously good people that want to help him, and she doesn't let him. I'm not sure if that's just because she's really protective of Lo, but it's so frustrating. Well, that makes a lot of sense. She says, I don't know how to help Lo without hurting myself, and I'm too selfish to find a solution to his problems. Right now, I hate both Lily and Lo. I'm afraid that he's going to start resenting me for keeping him from something he enjoys. What the actual... Lily and Lo are pissing me off. They're getting on my last nerve. I'm actually so close to DNFing this book. We have 3 hours and 19 minutes left on the timer, and I finally finished Addicted to You. This book honestly put me in such a bad mood. I think I'm gonna rate this 1 star. The last like 10 pages do make me think about rating it 2 stars or at least 1.5. But honestly, I hated everything about this. I really don't get how this series can be so hyped. I mean, of course, people have different tastes in books, but I took a few pictures of some quotes that made my blood boil. Lily says, and I wonder if she's right, if accepting the fact that I'm selfish and unable to change will help heal the guilt. You are guilty for a reason. Why would you just accept that you're selfish and don't care about the people you apparently love? That doesn't make any sense. And then Reich, who's one of the side characters, wants Lily to distract Lo from drinking more. And she just shakes her head and says, I'm done trying to force Lo to do anything, not at the expense of our relationship. I really can't. I mean, like I said, maybe I just don't get it because I don't have any experience with addiction. But I feel like even if you have an addiction, you're not automatically a bad person. And I feel like Lily and Lo are just bad people. Like, I feel like that's just it. We did get a chapter from Lo's point of view, and that was the part that made me think about rating it a little higher. So maybe if we would have gotten both point of views throughout this whole book, I would have enjoyed it a little more, but I don't know. Because at the end, Lo says, I love you, but I want to love you enough that I never choose alcohol over you. Not even for a moment. I want to become someone you deserve, who helps you rather than enables you, and I can't begin to do that until I get help for myself. So obviously they do care for each other, and towards the end of the book, they do admit that they need help. That happened in like the last 20 pages. And this book was almost 400 pages long. I feel like the characters were also so one-dimensional. They just seemed stupid to me. Like with their 2 brain cells, they were just enabling each other further and further. I think I have to stop talking about this book before I get even more frustrated. But I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to continue reading the series because this series has 5 books. And I'm pretty sure that they all follow Lily and Lo. I'm not gonna do that to myself again. Like, even if people say the series gets better the further you get into it, I'm not gonna do that to myself. I know that there's like a companion series. Is that what it's called? The Calloway Sisters series. And I may give that one a chance because that follows Rose, who's Lily's sister, and Connor, who kind of befriends Lily and Lo. And I did like both of them in the book. Like, that's pretty much the only thing I liked about this book, the side characters. So I am considering reading that other series that follows other characters, but I will not read any more books following Lily and Lo as the main characters. Definitely not. But on a more positive note, pretty much the second I finished Addicted to You, my package got here. I mean, I already told you what book's gonna get here today, but I got Find Me, which includes the Shadow Me and Reveal Me novellas. And then I also got Define Me, which is the next full novel in the series. I'm definitely gonna read Shadow Me now. I still have over 3 hours left. I'm not sure how many pages Shadow Me has. It only has 75 pages, so this should be a quick read. I'm gonna read that now. This is the novella between the 4th and the 5th book, so I'm not gonna talk about this novella in detail. But the Shadow Me series is set in a dystopian world that is ruled by the reestablishment, that's kind of the government, and the world that they live in is slowly dying. Animals and plants are dying, there's a lot of pollution, there's not enough food for everybody, and the reestablishment promises the citizens a better world, but they are very controlling. The citizens don't really have any rights. They're under constant surveillance and are not really able to do anything. And we follow our main character Juliet, who has a special power. She cannot be touched. Anybody who touches her gets hurt very badly or dies. And the series starts off by her being imprisoned because of that power, but she starts to grow into that power, and she also plays a big role in the rebellion that fights against the reestablishment, and we get to know more and more characters in this world, and I've been loving it. Like I mentioned earlier, some really big things happened in the last part that I finished a few days ago, so I immediately had to order the next part, and I'm really excited to get into this now. I did not know that Shadow Me was from Kenji's point of view. I'm so excited. He's probably my favorite character ever. I love him so much. I feel like he's so funny and cares so much about the people around him. I'm just obsessed with him, so that makes me even more excited to read this novella. It is quite a lot later, it's 9 p.m. and we still have an hour left on the timer. I ended up talking to my friend for almost 2 hours without pausing my timer. So, but I just finished reading Shadow Me and I'm gonna rate it 5 stars. Who would have thought? I'm loving the series, and having a book, or at least a novella, from Kenji's point of view just made my whole day, week, and month. So I love this. We have like under an hour left, so I don't want to start a new book. I'm currently reading Falling Like Leaves by Missy Wilson for another video I'm filming right now. So I think I'm just gonna continue reading that for the last hour, but I'm not gonna talk about the book because I've already talked about it in my other videos. Good morning. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I did not read any more last night, so I definitely kind of failed this challenge, but I would say it was still a success. I finished 2 full books and a novella, so I'm happy with that, even though I definitely did not read for 12 hours straight, but I still had a great time. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!